This is probably one of the most requested video that I have had. Quite a lot of people wanted to ask me about my thoughts on Netflix putting a series called Dear White People. What are my thoughts on a TV show that discriminates based on race? Well, I thought that was racist, and rightfully so. That dislike ratio was pretty damn telling. But what can I add to something that everybody has been talking about? Well, the question is, why am I so late to this party? That's because I saw this on Twitter, I saw people making videos on this, and I was like, oh my god, really, Netflix? You're just gonna follow MTV with all this nonsense? Then I watched DeFranco's video on this, and I am glad that I didn't jump on a bandwagon because, to be honest, this is the kind of series that you better be left ignoring, and I'll explain to you why. There is something that I noticed from this series, especially the way DeFranco say that this is a marketing fail. If this is a marketing fail, it reminds me a lot of Ghostbusters 2016. The way the series marketed, especially how the 30 seconds of it was nothing but bashing white people, it reminds me of how the mainstream media marketed Ghostbusters 2016. And we all know how that movie turned out. Since somebody actually made the trailer for this movie and designed it this way, I think it was an intentional move. It was intentionally done so that it can create outrage. And thankfully, the actual writer and director of the series kinda confirms that. Marketing engine is bold and very smart. Fascinating to sit back and watch it all play out according to plan. In my own personal speculation, the trailer was probably an intentional move from him in order to drive as much as outrage as possible from people to the point of disliking it into crazy. My question to the writer is, have you ever actually learned anything from Ghostbusters 2016? The movie did exactly this marketing tactic by making people absolutely angry, and it failed. The movie bombed. Almost nobody watched the movie. Trust me, the movie would have been slightly more successful if it weren't for the amount of outrage that it generated. The reason why Suicide Squad gained more attention, more viewers, and more box office revenue, despite how it was lousy and poorly made, is because none of the trailers or any of its publicity and marketing gives a "fuck you, you racist, sexist pig for not watching this movie" vibe. This series gives exactly that. By pissing off potential audiences in the marketing alone, you might gain attention to your series, but absolutely nobody would take the effort to put on a Netflix subscription just to see it. It's not a marketing fail, because the goal is not to gain audiences. It's a success, because the goal is to gain attention by pissing you off, and it is successful in pissing you off. The failure part here is that whoever in the marketing department thinks that the attention is the same as endorsement. Just because I put in attention to Anita Sarkeesian and show how stupid she is doesn't mean that I endorse her ideas. I don't support her ideas, but I give attention to her ideas because I want to show people why her ideas are, in my opinion, wrong. Attention is not endorsement unless you are trolling. And this show's entire marketing intent is probably just to troll you. Even if the show is just a satire, even if the marketing of the show is not representative of the actual content, wow, that sounds familiar, you cannot deny that the marketing of the show is pure, unadulterated, race-baiting outrage. In my opinion, the show would have been more successful if it's actually more representative of the original movie, which was apparently a very neutral satire with some cringy writing or something, I don't know. If it is more balanced or more politically neutral, it would have had at least a mixed reaction. I want the show to stop relying on pure clickbait outrage, because doing so will not bring any potential customers in, but actually kicking them out. Oh sure, your show gains attention from it, but in the world of marketing, attention is not always endorsement. The goal of marketing is to show and make sure that potential audiences can actually go into whatever the kind of thing that you're marketing and endorse it by either buying it or telling it to the people who might want it. So let me ask the question, who wants to see a show that has a trailer of whose content is nothing but basically insulting you for being white or wearing offensive Halloween costumes based on the fact that someone is offended? Who wants to see a movie of whose entire marketing is "men are scum"? Well, if you made your movie or your series that way, at the very best, people are not gonna see it. And at worst, people will cancel their Netflix subscription. But in the end, it's a fictional series. The reason why I'm not jumping into the bandwagon or getting outraged is because I'm getting rather tired of seeing more race baiting and outrage-driven marketing, but, well, I'm not entirely as angry when it's just fictional stuff like a TV series. In that case, I'd rather just judge it as a TV series. I'd rather judge it as a fictional material. You can disagree with the message inside the fictional material, but it's just a fictional material with a message that you disagree with. Now, don't get me wrong, I did get passionate when fictional materials have messages that I really disagree with, like what Marvel did, which they thankfully would reconsider, but at least it's not populating the majority of Netflix. At least Netflix still have loads of stuff to watch that are more politically neutral. People are scared and outraged over this because they don't want to see Netflix becoming the next Marvel or MTV, because Netflix has shown good stuff, and people will passionately attack anyone that tries to ruin it. And I sympathize with them. I find this outrage baiting and outrage marketing to be incredibly deceptive, manipulative, and very petty. Even if it is unintentional, it's definitely not productive. In the end, people are not going to put you on a pedestal or praise you or something. They're going to put you on the end of a crosshair. Not literal crosshair, just an expression. And trust me, that is the last reaction that you want from the people. Before we end this video, I want to give huge thanks to Maestro for the pledge on Patreon. Thank you so much, you are amazing. That's all for the video today. If you like this, you can go ahead, click the like button, and subscribe for more. If you wish, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching.